Hey everybody, it's Dave. We are recording. Thanks for attending our live Tuesday night team call. Excited to talk to you guys about Instagram tonight. I am working through some technical difficulties with sharing my phone with you, but we should be able to do that, and at the very least I can show you some other stuff that I do using my desktop. Before I get started with that, a quick note on the leadership ladder. So we now have 3 months under our belt of leadership ladder data, I guess, of seeing who is qualifying for a business starter, team builder, team leader 3 months in a row. And there are some prizes which we've talked about associated with those things. And I'm really excited for that. And I just got a hold of the spreadsheet tonight that sort of lays it all out. I think that's stretched Janet's Excel abilities or numbers abilities, but we have a list of people and I'm really excited for it. I just took a quick look at it. You know, a lot of the usual suspects, people you would expect, and a lot of newer people too, which is what really gets me excited about something like the Leadership Ladder. It's just such a great opportunity to help people grow in this business and understand the business on a deeper level. Advancing on the Leadership Ladder is much harder than advancing in rank, and you just need a much deeper understanding of the business, and you need a much deeper business. So very excited about that. So keep that in mind. Now, I want to just begin tonight with talking a little bit about, I'm just kind of getting my phone going here to see if I can get this stupid thing rolling. I want to talk a little bit about, is it not working? Marketing strategy generally, okay? And a couple of things from a marketing strategy perspective. One of the books I highly recommend people get is called Jab, 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 Right Hook. It's by Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary also came out with a new book just today, which I've started listening to, called Ask Gary V. His book, Crush It, was a huge influence on how I blog. His book, Thank You Economy, was a major influence on how I lead the team. And his book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, really gave us a template, I think, to talk about effective social media marketing, okay? So just the concept behind Jab, 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 Right Hook, I don't want to get into it too much because I've talked about it on other calls, but it's essentially a setup, right? There's a series of jabs that you throw that set up a big punch. In our case, that big punch is probably asking somebody to maybe join your challenge group or to buy a product, get a challenge pack, or maybe join the business. Those are the kind of hooks that we throw. And if I can get my phone to play nice, I'm going to show you how to do that tonight. So that's kind of the first thing, is understanding that the strategy and really smart boxing is not just continuing to constantly throw haymakers, right? It's really about the setup, right? Like if you watch, sorry for the jet, if you watch people fight, that's really how they do it. It's about the setup, and it's no different here, okay? So you've got to sort of understand that fundamentally to understand what we're going to talk about. And then let's get into Instagram. You know, I think that Instagram is a really cool thing. First of all, let me see if I can get my phone. Hopefully I can get my phone to play nice. Here we go. I love it when stuff works. Can you guys see my phone now? Yeah, everybody? Thank you. So let's kind of dive into Instagram. You know, there are a lot of numbers with Instagram, and I could give you a lot of them. If you haven't figured out Instagram by now, you need to figure it out. It's really here to stay. This is not the way I sort of see Periscope and potentially Snapchat, although Snapchat's growing very, 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 very quickly. Instagram is here to stay. It's also directly tied into Facebook, owned by Facebook, and will become, I believe, the next real marketer's paradise, if it's not already, which I think it's pretty easy to argue that it probably is already. So let's dive into Instagram, understanding the strategy that I've given you, and I'm going to talk to you about not only the jabs and the hooks, but how to leave breadcrumbs for people. This is a strategy that has been really successful for me for years. I mean, I don't remember exactly when I figured this out or went to that seminar or whatever where I learned how to leave breadcrumbs, but this is something that has just worked for me really most of my career as a coach. The idea is very simple, that you make yourself easy to find. You make these breadcrumbs really easy to follow. And on Instagram, the first place you can really do that is with your profile. So if you think about how we're going to engage with people on Instagram, at some point, and I'll talk more about those conversations and what they look like a little bit later, but at some point they're going to check out your profile, right? I mean, just think about it practically. If somebody came into your conversation or commented on your photo, and you probably have had this happen, one of the first things you do is you click on their profile to go figure out, who is this person? This is what they're going to find. So really, there's an old saying that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. This is, in the Instagram world, your first impression. So you have to think about, what do I want it to say? Okay? Now, what I'm going to tell you right out of the gate is what it shouldn't say, which, if you look at my profile here, it doesn't say anything about me being a Beachbody coach. It says fitness junkie and coach, but it doesn't say I'm a P90X coach, or I'm a Team Beachbody coach, or anything like that that would indicate to you that I'm trying to sell you something. Okay, so I think you want your profile to keep that in mind. When people go to your profile, here's what I want. When people come to my profile, I don't want them to know what I do. What do I want them to know? Well, about me, and this is my personal profile, I want them to know that I used to practice law, and now I own my own business. That's the first thing I want them to know about me. Now, whether they stop there and go, well, what business? And then click on that link, which is dave-ward.com, which I'll do in a second, or they keep going and they're like, okay, well, whatever. He used to be a jerk. Now he owns some business. Now, what does he do? Oh, he's a surfer, a skier, a cyclist, a mountain biker. He owns a Tundra. He's a fitness junkie and coach, and he's American. That's what I want people to know about me. Now, if they keep going, sorry, I gotta unlock my phone, and click on the Dave-Ward link, like I just did. Come on, baby, open up. My phone's not playing nice. There we go. That takes them to my website. So now I'm not infringing on them at all. I've just left this breadcrumb for them to follow. When they get here, there's a video. Whoops, there's this little talk thing. That's just a plugin on our website. I don't know if it's going to play. Probably not. Yeah, because I'm on AirPlay. So it's not going to play. But as you can probably imagine, this video is a video of me telling my story. Whoops. It's just me telling my story and a little bit about me, kind of what's going on. Here's my before and afters. Boy, that was a long time ago. But that's really the deal with that sort of breadcrumb. So let's talk a little bit about how you can set up your profile. And because you're probably not a surfer, you're probably not a cyclist and a skier and a Tundra owner and a retired lawyer. And that's the point, okay? That is really the point, is that you have to figure out who you are. I think this is a really exciting process. And it's one you should really dive into and understand who you are and who you're marketing to. This is incredibly important, guys. If you don't have a focused strategy, in particular on Instagram, knowing who you're looking for and how they speak, in particular using hashtags, which I'll get into later, you're lost. Okay, you're just lost. So what I am pretty clearly marketing to here are people who are surfers, cyclists, mountain bikers, Tundra owners, people who love to get outside, and people who are maybe trapped in a box, because that's what I was. So as we kind of just scroll through my profile here, I've got some stuff about Gary Vaynerchuk's new book. That's the first couple of posts here. I've got this video of me surfing, and I will, just for those of you guys who do get outside and do stuff, take this, okay? And it doesn't matter. Again, surfing is my thing. If your thing is stamp collecting and you're at some kick-ass stamp collecting convention and somebody's got some crazy rare stamp that you can't even believe, film a 15-second video about that and put it on Instagram for the stamp collectors to find you. That's what I really want for you on Instagram. Is I'm going to teach you how to go find people, but I want people to find you. That's the easy win. The easy win is I post this video of me surfing, somebody clicks on it, and then they go, well, who is this Dave, that surfer guy? And they click on my profile, and they go, oh, that guy looks cool. I wonder what his business is. And then they go to my website. Easy, 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 low-hanging fruit sort of conversion to get, because people are just following the breadcrumbs. And I'm going to show you like how they kind of do that as well. Couple of things about your profile. So there's an edit profile button there. So if we click on the edit profile, come on, baby. Doesn't like being on AirDrop. This is how you edit your profile. And it's just, you know, a simple text thing. You know, you put in the text and, you know, I can delete the American thing or I can bring it right back, right? It's just a text editor. Again, what you should do and how you should phrase this depends on who you're marketing to. And I don't know who that person is. You know, if we were all the same, this game would, it'd be really dull and it'd be super easy, but we're not. We're trying to connect with people who are like us. So I don't know who you are. You have to figure that out. And you've got to figure out who it is that you're marketing to. And you've got to position this particular part of your profile as something that is going to say, I need to know more. It's why I'm like intentionally not deceptive, but I'm kind of hiding the ball, right? I'm telling you I'm a small business owner. I'm not telling you what I do at all. And most of my posts, as you'll see, don't tell people that because they're setups. They're setups. So I just wanted to talk quickly about the link. So here it's Dave Ward again. That's something that's going to take you to an About Me page, so you can just kind of learn more about me. I change this all the time. If I have, one of the things I do a lot of is email marketing. If I have an email marketing campaign that's going on, I will change this link. I will show you why in a little bit and kind of how I do that. But I'll change this link dependent on what I'm going to be talking about. Here's why. This is the only link in Instagram. Yes. This is the only link in Instagram that actually works. So if you put a link in an Instagram post, it doesn't work. There's no clickable links in Instagram. So that's going to require people to copy and paste your link, and they're just not going to do it. People are just lazy. And it's actually too much to ask them to do. It's just dumb to ask them to do something that they're not going to do. What you can ask them to do is go click on the link in my profile. And people are starting to really understand that with Instagram and understand that that's how they get to whatever information you want them to go. So again, this changes a little bit, and the call to action, as I'm going to show you, changes a little bit. But this thing is fundamental. You have to know where people are going to go. Do not, I'll just tell you, do not put a link to your beachbodycoach.com / size or whatever. Don't put a link to something that's trying to sell them something, at least not right out of the gate. That page, if you go click on that link, it's my story about why I'm a coach and why I'm super passionate about who we are and what we do. I'm not trying to sell you anything there. I'm just explaining who I am. That's what I suggest. In the email marketing world, I would have something there, which is what we call a freemium, which is basically something for free that they can go download in exchange for their email address. That might be a meal plan, a free meal plan, or whatever your thing is that you think your people are going to be super interested in, a push-up challenge or a bunch of ab workouts or kind of whatever your thing is. For those of you who are involved in sports, you could put together, if you're a runner, for example, put together a running plan and give it away. Give it away in exchange for an email address. Super, super easy. You're probably doing that anyway. For the first couple of years of my business, this would have said triathlete on it because I was super into triathlon at one point. And I was putting together plans that had me training using, I lost my phone. Sorry there. I think I just talked too long and went to sleep. Come on back. Hold on. There we go. Gotta keep an eye on that. So anyway, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, really clear call to action. If you have a Snapchat, if you're into Snapchat and Snapchat is your thing, I suggest you include this. Jimmy and I were talking about it, and Jimmy is a huge Snapchat fan. I really have not been an early Snapchat adopter. I wasn't an early Instagram adopter either. You can see I've only got like 2,100 followers. And that's part of that is a function of me not really understanding how to use this program, how to use this venue. And that's why I wanted to do this video for you guys so I could share that with you. Let's talk about how conversations happen and how people find each other on Insta. So conversations on Instagram are governed by hashtags. And you may know a lot about hashtags. You may know nothing about hashtags. You may see them and be annoyed by them, as a lot of people are, and as I was, because I didn't fundamentally understand how hashtags tie so much together and how hashtags enable you to find people and for people to find you. So what is clickable in Instagram? Well, links are not clickable. What is clickable are hashtags. So here's a post that I did yesterday that there's a picture of me with a sign behind me, and that picture of the ski patrol guy is him standing on the sign that I'm in front of. And it's just to sort of show you what a crazy year Mammoth has been. Now, what does that have to do with business? Well, nothing, unless one of the groups you're trying to connect with are skiers, which is one of the groups I'm trying to connect with. Again, look at my profile. What's it say? I'm a skier. I'm trying to connect with skiers so that I have people that I have stuff in common with. So I put up this post. It has absolutely nothing to do with business. Didn't get a lot of likes. What does it have tagged? The hashtags are ski, skiing, snow, Mammoth, Mammoth Stories, Mammoth Mountain, and Mammoth Lakes. I'm just going to click on Mammoth Stories real quick and show you what happens when you do that. What happens when you do that is a bunch of posts, and they're categorized by top posts, by top posts, and then most recent. I like most recent. Top posts are going to be stuff from here, in this case, Mammoth Mountain. Like, I'm not going to sign up Mammoth Mountain as a coach. They're not going to buy a challenge pack. That's a business, right? And they have a huge social media presence. So yes, their stuff is right on top. So I'm going to go to like recents and just start kind of clicking through these. Look at this guy's ripping. He's on a snowboard, but that's cool. I snowboard too. These guys are snowboarding. Here's the sign again. Like, here's the sign again. If it was easy enough to post a picture that I just showed you, that where these guys think they're buried, you know, that sign was so buried by the guy. But let's just see. Okay, so that is kind of a crazy area. So now I found somebody who, let's just take a look. Let's just really quickly. This is what I do. I will go and I'll search hashtags that I'm using. Hashtags that I'm using. If you're not using hashtags, you're wasting your time searching for them, because people are going to go look at your profile, and if you don't have pictures related to Mammoth and skiing, you're done. They're just going to go, who's this kook? He's trying to sell me something, right? But when I go and I click on the Mammoth Stories thing, and let's take a look at RHX Pro. All right, Renee Herrera, your aqua rescue person, right? She's super outdoorsy. That's cool. I think I'd just give that a follow, right? I've seen enough here. That's up in the mountains, riding bikes, all kinds of stuff that I'm into. And I'm just going to say, whoops. Love that spot, rip it. That simple. Now, I don't know whether this person is a super active Instagram user or not. I mean, let's just look at the profile. You know, 80 followers, they're following 34 people. I don't know if they're ever even going to see that thing. Doesn't matter to me. The game is find people that you have stuff in common with and try to connect with them. You know? So that's a really quick example of the way that I do this, okay? Really quick. That's me not trying to drag this call out any more than it needs to be and just show you the method. That is what I do. I will also go, and so next to the place you post a picture, there's a little magnifying glass. If you go into this magnifying glass, this screen here, you should see a lot of stuff here that looks super familiar to you, because this Explore Post section here is based on things that you've commented on. So I got surfers, I got cyclists, I've got art, I've got stand-up people, I got some crazy bikini lady that's been photoshopped. You know, I've got some dude smoking weed or whatever. It was an interesting mix. But it's an easy way to find people. For example, this guy. Find people who are into the things you're into, right? So, you know, let's say I owned a Santa Cruz bike. I would comment on this dude's bike. Like, that's a killer bike. You know, again, I go in, I take a look at who is he. Guy's got 5,800 followers. Mountain bike athlete for Santa Cruz. Okay, I'm just going to follow that guy. It's kind of that simple to find people that you have stuff in common with, okay? But you have to know your hashtag strategy. You can also directly search for hashtags. So here are kind of some of the hashtags I've searched for, like this Tundra TRD Pro. I own a Tundra TRD Pro. And what I have noticed is that when I post pictures of it and hashtag it with this hashtag and a couple of others, a lot of people seem to pay attention to that. So I started posting more pictures of my truck with this hashtag. And guess what? That's my truck. And my truck is in the top posts for Tundra TRD Pro. I don't know why. I don't care why. All I know is when people go searching for trucks, they find my truck. You know, here's down here, here's other guys, there's this guy's, here's, oh, look at that. There's my truck again. This is a way to connect with people who have things in common with. Because I know that if I start to connect with people, they are gonna find out more about me. Again, it's the breadcrumb thing. Somebody comes across this post and like, who's Dave, that surfer guy? And they go to my profile and they wanna know more and they click on the Dave Ward. That's just easy, low-hanging fruit. It's usually not that simple. You gotta engage with people and you have to engage in conversations. And it's easy to do when you find people that you have stuff in common with, okay? It's not a whole lot more complicated though than doing exactly what I told you as far as finding those people and commenting on their stuff. And following them if they seem like they're a really good fit. If they don't seem like they're a really good fit, I don't follow. The two people I happen to click on there seem like they're just into a bunch of stuff I'm into. So awesome. Thank you, Instagram, for bonding us together and connecting us in this space. Now, they may not follow me back and whatever, that's cool. Okay, another thing. You can search by hashtags under the tags category. You can search by people and search for specific usernames. You can also search places. So I live right across the street from Coronado Dog Beach. All these people are hanging out on my beach. This guy, I commented on his photo. I haven't heard back. That's okay. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about, here's a dude who hangs out right outside of my house with his dog. How often? I don't know. Maybe it's the first time he's ever been there. I have no idea. Don't care. What I care about is I found somebody who I have a connection to, who I commented on his photo. Cool. Now, if I went there and I searched his profile a little bit, and it turns out he's a cyclist or a mountain biker or a skier or something like that, I'll follow for sure. Because he's going to go back to my profile and he's going to be like, oh, this is my dude, right? Like, oh, cool, you're cool, right? But if he goes back to my profile, if I comment on that guy's photo and he goes back to my profile and it's like, buy this thing, I'm not going to, there's no way to win that. And that's what too many people are doing on Instagram is they think that profile is an opportunity to sell somebody something, and it's not. It's an opportunity to start a relationship. So what I want you to think about too when you're starting these conversations is, I think sometimes on social media people lose their minds. They just lose their minds and they stop using their brain to think about conversations. If this dude was at Starbucks with his dog, okay, or if I was down at Dog Beach, let's say I walked down at Dog Beach and I saw this dude humming the ball out in the water for his dog to go get. I would never in a million years walk up to that guy and say, hey, would you like to buy a challenge pack with Shakeology and 22-minute hardcore? I mean, would you ever do that? You would not. My door is locked. I'll be right back. No, you're fine. Okay. Anyway, I'm back. I would never do that, right? You would never do that to somebody. And yet, what do people do? I see it over and over and over again, and I will tell you it's a hot spot of complaints of people who they see somebody like this and they just jump right in for the kill. Now, that's really awkward with this guy. If it's somebody who's already kind of talking about fitness, nutrition, that type of stuff, it's a lot more tempting to do. I'm just going to tell you, don't do it. Take your time. Think about what would I say to this person if I was in the same room with them. That's how you should behave online, and it's not what people do. And really, it's not giving us a good reputation, and really, it's not going to get you anywhere either. Okay. Now, I got to go back to don't freeze. Oh, good. All right. So, hashtags, understanding how hashtags work, and developing a hashtag strategy. That's what I really want to encourage you guys to do. So I'm going to give you, let's find something good. We can use skiing. Let's use skiing. So again, if I click on the hashtag of skiing, which is just one of the hashtags that I regularly use, what I will find is people who are posting about that. Now, like the other hashtags that they're using there, chill and mood, I don't even know what any of that nonsense means. So I'm out of there. That doesn't help me. Let's see if I can find somebody who does help me. Okay, so free ski. That's interesting to me. So new schoolers, I don't know what that is. That's this guy's website, is the newschooler.com. Skiing is one that is already in my hashtag list, but free ski I don't think is. So I could click on that and see, like, I don't know, are there a lot of people talking about that? Well, there's quite a few. That's worthwhile, and you can actually search that. Sorry, back to search tags. Type in free ski. There's 169,000 people who are talking about that. See that? 164,000. I'm sorry. On my glasses. 164,000 people who are using this hashtag. To me, that warrants adding this hashtag to the list of hashtags that I use when I'm talking about skiing. Okay, does that make sense? Like, give me a nod if this makes sense, the strategy of developing your hashtags like this. Okay, so I have a note on my phone, which is where I keep all this stuff. And I have notes here. These are kind of my work from home notes. Here's my Ask Gary V notes, my hashtags rather. Here's the fitness stuff. And here is skiing. So I'm just gonna add free ski. Oops. So next time I go to talk about skiing, what do? I just click on this. And there's an easier way you can do this by setting your keyboard up in a fancy way. And I just do this. I just copy that and then I paste it when I talk about skiing. And now I'm making sure that my hashtags are in alignment with the people that I'm trying to connect with, right? And so you can see, I have a few of them for Beachbody Coach. I'm gonna really temper you on that. I'll talk about that in a second. Surfing, mountain biking, cycling, and my Tundra. Those are the things I talked about in my profile, right? So that's the stuff I talk about mostly. I should probably create another thing for local people, for Coronado Beach, San Diego, that type of stuff. And I will as I develop this. I want to talk really quickly about this Beachbody Coach, Beachbody, Shakeology, all of those types of hashtags. You've got to think about who's searching for those hashtags. It's not your prospect. Your prospect doesn't even know about you. My prospect doesn't even know about Shakeology. Maybe yours does. Mine does not. My job is to introduce that to them. So I'm not going to tag stuff with Shakeology because no one's searching for that. It's just not something they're searching for, that unless they're already a coach. I will tell you, if you go use these hashtags right here, which I occasionally do, I use them to get social proof. So if I'm doing like a workout and I want people to comment on it, I will use those hashtags and coaches will comment on it, which gives my post some social proof, which is great. But it's not going to get me, I know by doing that, I'm not going to get a lead, because that's not how this works. Your leads are not searching for Beachbody. They don't care about Beachbody hashtags. If you use this, expect, first of all, that primarily coaches are going to respond to you. And second of all, you're going to get followed by and maybe spammed a little bit by people who are trying to sell leads to coaches. That's what you get. I very rarely use these just for that reason. There's not a whole lot of point to it. Okay, so whoops. So just be mindful of that. Whoops. Be mindful of that. But what I want to really encourage you to do is, again, get into these hashtags. Figure out what your thing is. Find people who are talking about that thing and figure out what the hashtags are that they use, and then put them all into a note on your phone so that you have them handy. And it just makes it easy to just copy, paste, copy, paste. I'm always using the same hashtags. When I find a good one like this free ski one, I'll add it to my list. What's next time I post about skiing, it's going to have that tag on it. All right. So now there's 164,000 people who are using that hashtag. that's a good recipe to increase your interaction with people, which is really what I'm telling you to do and talking about. Is again, they're going to come back to you. Okay, they're going to follow the breadcrumbs, and they're going to end up back at your profile page. And here's your big opportunity to make an impact on them. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Hashtags are incredibly important. Like this is, if you don't have your hashtag game right, Instagram doesn't make sense for you. It really doesn't. You're just posting pictures. This is my mom. My mom's great. She loves taking pictures and she loves putting them on Instagram. She likes the filters and she likes to have fun. And if that's all you're doing on Instagram, that's fine. That's up to you. But if you want people to follow you and you want to connect with people, you've got to have that hashtag game sorted out. And you've got to have it figured out. And you got to know what you want to talk about. All right. So I'm going to pause there really quickly, stop this share, and see if you guys have questions about that. I see there is a question. Nicholas, how do you keep track of your Instagram comments? Yeah, I really wish that I had a some sort of great system to share with you. I just don't keep it that complicated. I have a note on my phone. The note on my phone has a list of prospects and accounts. I've done it that way for years. Kelly Hawthorne asked me, or Kelly Posner now, excuse me, Kelly, asked me that earlier, what system do you use? I used a piece of paper for 2 years in this business. I mean, literally I had a little piece of paper that I kept with me wherever I went. I would just fold it up and I would just have the list in my pocket. And that worked for years. And then I used Evernote for a little while. And, it just kind of depended. Okay, another question. Is coaching your second or third job? If coaching is your second or third job, would you still list it on your profile? I don't suggest, the thing is, depends on how you're going to talk about it, right? Like, I'm not listing it on my profile at all. Nothing in my profile says that I'm a Beachbody coach. It says I'm a fitness junkie and a coach. But a coach to you, that has a connotation to you that it doesn't have to most people. Like, no one knows what a challenge pack is. Do you think somebody knows what a challenge pack is? They don't have a clue what that is. If I just stop somebody on the side of the street and said, tell me what a challenge pack is, they got no clue what that is. It's the same thing with coach. What does that mean? I don't know what it means. I mean, if it means something to you, it means something to me because we're coaches. But unless you're a coach, it doesn't mean anything to you, right? So another question, if I don't have a website like that, is it okay to put my Beachbody website? No, I would not use your Beachbody website here. I mean, you got to think about, what do you want people to do? You want people to connect with you. That's what you're looking for. What's going to happen? I mean, think about this from just like, and in all seriousness, guys, slow down. Just slow down. Everybody's really in a hurry to have the perfect system. Got to slow down a little bit. Take yourself to the real world and real world practicality. If you met somebody at a Starbucks, okay, and within meeting them, within 5 minutes, you found out they were in some sort of a sales job where you were potentially a sales prospect for them, how would you react to them? My guess is you would become really defensive and you would start to guard your information. And when they start to ask you questions about your life, you'd start to really protect those things because you'd be nervous that they're trying to sell you something. So what I'm trying to get you to do is engage with cool conversations with people where they start to realize, wow, we have this awesome stamp collecting thing in common. I need to know more about them. That's what I'm really telling you to do. I wouldn't use any of those links. I mean, I think that's just the death, honestly. I mean, and especially given as aggressive as so many coaches are now, with the way that they are commenting on and doing exactly what I said about that guy at the beach, walking up to him being like, dude, you need to buy a challenge pack because you're in my beach. What? With that number of people, I don't think you want to be that guy. I think you want to stand out because you guys have stamp collecting or whatever in common, skiing or whatever it is. That's how you stand out. So I think that's really the smart use of that profile page and those links. Okay, so I'm going to keep going here.
I have a question real quick, Dave.
Yeah, sure.
Have you figured out why some coaches will post and then they'll do like a million spaces with dots and then they'll put their hashtags? Like, so there's like this big, huge space and then their hashtags are underneath that. Like, what's the point of that?
I'll show you. Let me see if I can get back to my phone real quick and I'll just kind of give you an example of that. And I don't know necessarily about the million dots. Whoopsie. Okay, back to my phone. The dot, though, is really about spacing. So I pre-drafted this post, which I'm going to show you guys how to post and talk to you a little bit about it, and I got to kind of hustle on it. But you'll see how there's a dot. See how it's like money, money, money equals scared, dot, dot. It just spaces things out. So you can draft stuff on your phone. A lot of times if you copy and paste over on your phone, it won't catch those hard returns. Whoa, sorry. It won't catch those hard returns, and it just pastes weird. So people will put all kinds of stuff in there just to space it out. But that's really basically what it is. Okay, so I want to talk about creating content. I'm going to be kind of speedy with this one. So what I really want to encourage you to do is dig in and learn some new stuff. So here we go. I'm sharing my screen now. Can you guys see my screen? Yes, that's good. There we go. And I'm on a website called Canva, Canva.com. Canva allows you to really, really easily design graphics. Like here's the last one I did. It's a little bit about Gary Vaynerchuk and his new book coming out. We're doing a promotion for the book. Some of you guys will be receiving a copy of the book. Good news for you. For those of you who are on that leadership ladder that I talked about earlier, you guys are going to be getting books. But we did this post to promote Gary V. Now this looks pretty professional. Took me about 5 minutes to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of that. And just really quickly, for Instagram, you need square. Everything's got to be square. When I take pictures on my phone, I almost always shoot in square unless I have like some big landscape or something that I want to get, because Instagram posts are square. So that's why I picked this 800 by 800. So you go in here, and what's really cool about Canva is they have all these preloaded templates, and they're super easy to move around, right? Like I can get rid of that, and then the Mother's Day stuff is here. It's just in white. Or I could be like, nah, I like that template. I like this template, or I like this Kilimanjaro template. If I want to use their background photo, then I have to pay them. But I don't want to use their background photo. I want to use a picture of me. So I just, hopefully you saw how I did that. Again, I just clicked on it. It highlights the edges, and I hit the delete key. And their image goes away. I can go over here to uploads. And what do we have here? Well, we had a bunch of pictures that I've uploaded. And I'm just going to choose, I've used that one quite a bit. But I want something that's kind of square. Let me search a picture here. I'll use this one. Okay, so it's a nice square picture already because I've cropped it and I messed around with it on iPhoto to make it nice and pretty. And you can see it just goes right there underneath the text that I had put in there. So I'm just gonna, and again, this is so easy, guys. You just want to go in here and play with this. And okay, wrong with that, you can't see it. So let's make it white. Now you can see it, but it doesn't fit. So you can just drag stuff like this. And it's still a little not really easy to see, so I'll just kind of move it around. Point of this is just to show you how this all works. This thing's just in my way, so I click delete and I get rid of it. And I will say, the unreasonable is a hashtag we're using for our event. And I kind of want that to stand out. I'm kind of trying to run this hashtag and get this thing to really index and, you know, take control over that. So again, I'm still not super stoked with this. It needs to be a little bit bigger. There we go. That's a little bit easier to see. Not nuts about the font. This is how hard this is to do. As you can see, I'm just playing around with this thing. By no means a graphic designer, but that's how easy it is. I mean, you see how long that takes me. And again, you know, like the one I showed you with Gary was a little more time consuming. You can take as much time as you want with this. I'm just kind of trying to show you how to do it, okay? So then I go up here and I say image for web. and it downloads it onto my computer. Now I'm using a Mac, so I don't know how to use a PC. So somebody's going to ask me how to do this on a PC. I don't know. My answer is Google it. If you Google how to send an image from your computer to your phone, it will tell you. But on the Mac, you save it as a file, and then I use Messenger to just text it to myself. It's basically what I'm going to do. It's going to take a second to open. Hey, bud. Sorry. Almost done, guys. So it says Happy Mother's Day here because that was the default thing that I grabbed. It's really easy to rename these. So what do? Well, I go to my phone number. Oopsie. And I drag this. Come here, dude. Just drag this over and send it to myself. Earlier, I drafted this post in notes and I texted it to myself because I don't like hammering out long stuff on my phone. It takes forever. I'm much better writing the way I think, much better with a keyboard underneath my fingers than I am with my phone. So I'll just hammer stuff out in notes and then email it to myself. Another question I'm going to get, can I use Evernote? Sure. Can you use Google Drive? Absolutely. Whatever works for you and whatever makes your life easy is what I suggest you use. Go ahead and feel free to get a little creative with this. So now I'm going to go back to my phone. Back to phone. AirPlay. And we're back on my phone. Now I just need to wait for it to send. And there it is. Got the image that I just created because I just texted it to myself using Messenger. Okay, now there, again, you could just email that to yourself. Easiest thing for me to do is just use Messenger to do it. So I click on my image. Hi, Jimmy. Click on the image, and then I click on this little button in the left-hand corner. Where do you want to do? I want to save this image. Okay, now what do? Now I go to Instagram. And when I click on guess what? Oh, look what's there. That's how easy, that's how you just watched me create this graphic in like 0 time. Okay, now, I put a little more into it if I was like really trying to throw a right hook. If it's just a little jab, then I'm gonna, not take that much time with it. I might not even put this stuff onto a jab. Like this is where I want to like hit people. I want the people that I commented on earlier to come back and go, oh wow, I need to find out more about what this dude does. So, like I said earlier, I have a post all ready to go. So what do? I go to my notes, and here's the post. And you guys can go and read the post afterwards because I only have 15 minutes left, and I want to talk to you guys about Instagress. But it's as simple as, whoa, where'd you go? Clicking on that, select all, copy, and then going back to my post, next, don't need a filter, paste, there's the post, okay? And there's that be unreasonable hashtag that I'm trying to really run with and dominate because that's the one we're using for our men's leadership event. Now, I will add the Coronado Dog Beach tag or location to it. Not because this has anything to do with Coronado, but it's where I live. And people search those location tags. So why wouldn't I let them know? Facebook, I share it to Facebook. This Instagram post will share to my Facebook page. Okay, so that my business page on Facebook is where this thing goes to. I've had it set to go to my personal profile. I'm kind of thinking about changing it back. I've done both. Just playing with it, okay? And Facebook changes stuff all the time. Right now it's set to go to my page. So what I'll do is I'll click share, and then it's gone. And then we get to watch that dude for a second. Then what I'll do is I'll go to Facebook. And really quickly, photo, video, well, there it is. It's in my photos. What do? I just hit paste. And boom. That's how long it takes you to throw a hook about getting involved in our business. Or about a jab about stamp collecting. Whatever you're into. That's really how hard it is. Now, if you look at that, if you look at this thing, let's get into it a little bit. Here are the hashtags I'm using. These are like, you know, small base. I'm looking for those people who are interested in this side of thing, this sort of things. And I've also got the skiing hashtags in there. I've got, you know, I go heli skiing. I have my heli skiing hashtags in there. I should have added free ski. That was what I missed on the execution of this thing. That's really how simple it is to really find those people and connect with them. Here's a post that's sitting out there that I'm waiting for somebody to respond to. So that's kind of fun. So I have very little time, but I'm going to pause really quickly and see if there are questions. So I'm going to unshare, and if you have a question, let me know.
Do you find a lot of men on Instagram? Because I feel like it's a girl thing.
No, I do. Absolutely. Yeah. There's more guys. I think there's more guys on Instagram than Facebook. Yeah. That's particularly younger. If I was looking for a little bit older guys, no. But younger guys, in particular my market of guys who are surfer, outdoor enthusiast guys who, you know, they're outside, they got GoPros, they're taking pictures of what they're doing constantly. Yeah, there's a ton of them.
What about Snapchat? Is that?
You know what? I'm gonna hold off on Snapchat because I'm not snapping. You know, Jimmy. Like I said, Jimmy is, and he digs it. I just haven't got into it yet. You know, I'm trying to master this Instagram game right now. All right, good question. Let's talk about a bot. So those of you guys who've been around for a while will remember that Twitter. Can you guys see my screen now? Those Instagrams? Yeah. Twitter was how I really started in this business. Twitter was a lot like Instagram, just less visual and not as cool. But the hashtags were around in this game and have been around for a really long time. And one of the things I did very early on was I paid for a bot that would focus on certain hashtags and go and follow people. Well, after a while, that was not allowed. Twitter outlawed those things. And when it did, for me, Twitter pretty much died. I wouldn't say it's completely dead, but it just is not the game that it used to be for me because it requires a lot of work and it's clumsy. It's just not, the user interface sucks. I mean, it's so easy to do what I just showed you earlier with hashtags. But what you can do now with Instagram is this little thing called Instagress. So Instagress, and this is obviously the website is instagress.com, is a paid service. You can get an idea of how much it costs. I did a 30-day trial and I ended up signing up for a year because it blew my Instagram up. Just absolutely blew my Instagram up. So what does Instagress do? Well, you can set it to do a couple of different things. Right now, I have it set to like certain photos. I'll show you that in a sec. I do not have the comments feature turned on. I'll explain that in a minute. I have it set to follow people. This is brand new for me. I'm kind of digging into the waters here and seeing how that goes. And then I should have this unfollow thing on. I'm sorry. And you have to turn it, you have to stop it in order to make any changes. So stop in it, and then it unfollows. And then I'll start it again. Actually, I should stop it so I can dig in. So here are some settings. Like, you know, you can this thing can go faster. I set it to normal. I don't want to set off any alarms that there's something weird going on and Instagram contacts me and is like, hey, you know, not cool that you guys are using a bot. Although I think Instagram knows that this thing is running. Sorry, some kids are at the door. Okay, advanced comments, filters. I don't really use this. There's a lot of like robust stuff you can do here. Comments. If you have received, I know you've received comments from a bot before, and they're totally out of place. They're usually super weird. You know, you post a picture of your dog that just died and tag it dog, and somebody comes in and they're like, awesome. You know, I mean, if you haven't gotten these comments, you will once you start using hashtags. That's what people are doing with stuff like Instagress, is they're commenting on every single photo. And the comments are just usually way out of place. They're just weird. I mean, every now and then I'll get one, but even now I'm so suspicious of it, and I kind of go, I don't know, that's a bot. And everybody that I know uses Instagram, that pisses them off. So I'm not going to do that. If you are going to do it, man, you got to pick something that's super generic. I mean, don't roll the dice on the dead dog post. That's just not where you want to go with it. So to follow. Okay, so following, unfollowing, and tags. So again, this is where your hashtag strategy has to be rock solid. Like you need to know your hashtags. What this thing is set to do is it's set to look at all these hashtags, okay? And when people use that, let's say they use, like I have a Trek, my mountain bike is a Trek, my road bike is a Cervelo. So I added those things because I want Trek users to go and I want it to like their photos. So somebody's out for a ride on their Trek bike, in particular if they got a Remedy 9, which is my Trek bike. Somebody's out for a ride on their Trek bike and they hashtag Trek, Trek bikes, Remedy 9. Instagram goes and likes their photo. That's all it does. Just boop, like your photo. Now, if they've got multiple hashtags with those, it'll go like all their photos that have those hashtags, or several of them anyway. Well, what happens when that happens, and I'll show you if I can jump back to my phone really quickly. I don't have a lot of time here. I got to get off this call so that Monica can do her call. So I'm going to really quickly stop share. I just want to show this to you fast. If I can. Why is that not working? Oh, there it is. All right, so let's just jump back to Instagram really quickly, and I'll show you what it looks like. This is the heart button that I'm clicking on. So there's random. Oh, this guy's like 3 of my photos. See this Charles, Hawaii guy? He's like 3 of my photos. Dr. Pavel, like 3 of my photos. Tech Crusader, like 3 of my photos. They're probably using Instagram, okay? That's what happens when you use it. What happens is you pop up in their thing. Well, a lot of people are going to go, who is that? Tech Crusader, child of God, father of 2, IT specialist by day, going for a ride. Might be somebody that I want to connect with. I don't know. I'm following them, So that's how Instagram will work. So let me go back to my my desktop really quickly. Back on the desktop now? Yeah, okay. So again, it is doing the same thing with follows and unfollows. The unfollow thing is if they don't follow me back within, I think, a couple of days. Yeah, so I don't know. Again, I'm playing with that follow, unfollow thing. That worked like a charm with Twitter, though. That was such a huge thing for us with Twitter. We got so many easy wins out of this exact system just on Twitter that it was beyond worth it. However, if you don't have this part of it sorted out, don't waste your time and or money. Don't mess with Instagram unless you know what your hashtags are. That's really the homework moving away from this thing. You need to get your hashtag game strong. You need to have a note on your phone or a Google Drive document or an Evernote or however you want to do it. It doesn't matter to me. Make your life easy, though, and make sure it's comprehensive. Like if you just look at this, it would be really easy to leave some of these hashtags out of a post, right? Like I'm going to even just add really quickly. I think I've got, I'm just going to add that free skier thing. So here's how you add, I got a second, I can show you this. So free ski, and what it'll do, this is so cool, like look at this. So again, it's 164,000 people, so of course I'm going to use that. I guess I should use free skiing too. Would I use free skit? No, I wouldn't use that. Free ski kid, probably not. But look at these hashtags. How many people are using these out here? Like I should be following these people. And so now, like that, boom, there they are. Now people that tag stuff with free skiing, Instagram will go and follow them, and it'll like their photos. And it's just a matter of time until they track back to me and my profile, and I can start talking to them. My job is, again, to go back to my phone, and I know this is kind of clumsy, this kind of cross share, although I think this is cool. Jimmy showed me this, and I'm like, I have rules. I love being able to share my screen and have you guys kind of see what's going on. Whoops. My job is to go in here into search, tags, and let's use that free ski thing. And it's to go and find these people and try to connect with them, and then use that hashtag. I'm using that hashtag as well as going in and trying to connect with people. It's pretty much Instagram in a nutshell. I mean, that's really how it's done. And Instagram is awesome. It's just people are using it like, I really feel there are more men using Instagram, particularly like in my niche. Again, your niche may not be my niche. They may not follow you there, but you got to kind of do that. So with that, last chance for romance here. If you have a question, pop in and I'll answer it. And then I got to get out of here because Monica needs the Zoom. Nobody? Okay, cool. I hope you found that helpful. It's helped me, and I really dig Instagram. I will tell you, when you start, set it on the slow setting, slowly ramp yourself up. Again, I don't think you want to overdo it. That's I think very tempting, is to kind of go like all in, and don't do that. Set it, forget it, connect with people, keep going in, find a few people a day, start commenting on their stuff, and I think Instagram will be a great success for you. Hopefully you found this helpful. Now I'm going to get out of here so that Monica can use the Zoom. Take care, guys.